Hey, welcome back to the channel. This is Frank's Favorite Foods, where I'm always cooking up a good time. This is the place where I teach you how to make restaurant quality food at home. This is my dad's all-time favorite dinner: pork chops and gravy smothered in onions. So I'm going to show you how to make this fork tender pork chop, homemade mashed potatoes and gravy, and green beans. I'm going to start with a generous amount of salt and pepper on both sides of the pork chop. Next, I'm going to heat up a couple tablespoons of vegetable oil. Then in go the pork chops. As you can see, I get a really good sear and crust on the outside of these pork chops. So to ensure that the pork chop is tender and moist, I'm going to fold over a piece of aluminum foil, and then I'm going to wrap the pork chop inside that. It's going to have sort of a Dutch oven effect. Put your pork chops in a 275-degree oven and check them in about 90 minutes. Next, slice up 2 medium-sized yellow onions for gravy.
I come from a long line of gravy, man. I made gravy. My daddy, he made his gravy. And then my daddy, he made his gravy too.
We're going to saute those onions in a bit more vegetable oil, being careful not to burn the onions. We want them thoroughly cooked, caramelized, but not burned. You can see these onions are thoroughly cooked but not burned, so I'm going to remove them from the pan, leaving the oil in the pan to continue with the gravy process. I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of all-purpose flour, and make sure you've got enough oil in the pan to mix with the flour. If you need to add a little bit more oil, just go ahead and do so. Next, let's add 2 cups of water. 1 tablespoon of kitchen bouquet, 1/2 teaspoon of dried rosemary. Reduce the volume of the liquid by 1/3. Next, add 2 tablespoons of butter and a 1/4 cup of heavy cream. Return the onions to the gravy, and there you go. Let's make some mashed potatoes. I'm going to start by quartering some russet potatoes with the skin on. I'm going to add 1/2 teaspoon of salt to the cooking water, which will reduce the need for salt after it's cooked. These potatoes have been on the stove for about 20 minutes. They're completely cooked, yet still firm. I've drained all the water from the mashed potatoes except for 1/4 cup. I've added 1/2 cup of milk, 1/4 cup of heavy cream, 4 tablespoons of butter, and salt and pepper to taste. There are basic ingredients for making mashed potatoes, but you've got to sort of feel your way through each batch to know exactly how much to add. All right, now that we're done with the mashed potatoes, I'm going to show you how to turn canned green beans into grandma's home-style green beans. All you're going to do is add 1/2 teaspoon of bacon fat, 1/2 teaspoon of butter, and salt and pepper to taste. That's it. Hey, what do you know? It looks like our pork chops are done. Tender, delicious, moist. Something about this meal reminds me of family. The family who made it for me and the family whom I make it for now. In fact, going forward, my family crest will be the pork chop. So that's it. That's how to make the most tender pork chop with mashed potatoes and brown onion gravy you've ever had in your entire life. Thank you for tuning in to Frank's Favorite Foods, where I'm always cooking up a good time. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, this would be the perfect time to do so. That way you don't miss anything. If you've got a question, a concern, a comment, a request, I'd love to hear from you. Please drop me a line, and I'll see you in the next video.